Hello! First off, I'd like to thank you all for subscribing and sharing the project. Parias and my channel wouldn't be here without your support, and I will continue to do my best for this project in the future. This video will contain what my future plans are for the channel going into the rest of 2024 and the first half of 2025. In case you were not aware, at the moment of recording this video, I am currently a college student studying animation, so I'm going to be very busy throughout the non-summer school year. However, I will still do my best to ensure you people will have the content to consume even when I'm drowning in homework, allegedly. Starting with late July, I'll make an Art of Parias episode. In case you haven't seen it, it has already been released. They're rather easy to make and are good for people who prefer shorter forms of content, and I enjoy making something nice and easy like that sometimes. For Parias fans, you are eating good as episode 10 is already being produced. Season 1 will have 11 episodes in total, the last 2 episodes involving the Savannah of Isolation and the Lapis Coast, respectively. I intend to release episode 10 sometime in early to mid-September, after I work on some other things first, given episode 9 just came out. If you want to help episode 10 get out faster, you can join the Parias Discord server and contribute with your art. After episode 11 comes out, which I plan to be sometime after Christmas of 2024, I'm going to take a short break from posting Parias content to prepare further for future goals. But Parias is still going to be a great priority in my life for a long while. Another significant change to Parias I wish to make will be the time skips that will occur between seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4. At first, I planned for all 4 of these seasons to cover the exact same time period, only 5 to 10-ish million years of evolution. But I want more cool designs to come from this time period and a feeling of progress amongst my fans, so seasons 2 and 3 will take place on other parts of the world further into the future. Season 2 will happen around 10 million Parian years post-establishment, and seasons 3 and 4 will happen around 15 million Parian years post-establishment. To clarify further, a Parian year is almost twice as long as an Earth year, so this translates to around 20 to 30 million Earth years of evolution, with more fun and less constraints for my community. Following Season 4 would be a series of Sorry about that. Don't know exactly how that went in there. Anyways, for Serena audiobook fans, you are also going to have a great time. After this video and the Art of Parias episode is released, I will be immediately pumping out Serena content. I know that Dylan Beta is reworking earlier parts of his project, and if he changes parts or adds things to parts that I've already narrated, I will just go back and change it later. I know my stuff is just a fan edition, so I hope he doesn't feel forced to leave the Hypostacene to Cryocene segments alone. Anyways, the Thermocene book will be divided into 13 or 14 chapters, and I intend to release them every Sunday, starting sometime in August and continuing during the autumn semester, with a super video of the Thermocene and a single video, and a super duper video of the Hypostacene all the way until the Thermocene-Pangeacene boundary, into a gigantic, likely 12+ hour video with no ads. Given how gargantuan the Pangeacene and Ultimocene are, I will likely divide them into multiple books and have only 1 to 2 speed paints per chapter, making the speed paints based on my favorites of that chapter instead of all of them. But don't worry, the Pangeacene won't be coming for a long time, likely not until well into 2025, especially with the other projects that I have planned. Besides the Parias and Serena content, I have more channel content that I wish to add onto YouTube. On the lowest priority is a revision to my Owl House video. I am proud of it in some parts, but I still believe that it is severely flawed as a hypothesis, and I could make it better. The biggest problem with that video is that I ignore a lot of the actual canon, especially with the magic system. I believe I can make the canon work with my hypothesis, and throwing the canon out really worsens my point. However, I have other projects I could do instead that are, new, and could actually bring in a new audience. A video that I have in mind that has a higher rank on my priority list is a short Spec Evo video about Bluey. This video would be short and simple, with the goal of this one to be entertaining and a fun excuse to make something related to the show, given it's really popular among my family. The show has lore implying that the dogs in the show have evolved from more basal bipedal canids, and I think combining this iconic show with a very basic introduction to the furry version of human evolution would be kinda neat. Another thing I would very much be interested in looking into is further collaboration with other spec creators. I am very thankful for Alien Evolution accepting my offer for the Avatar video collaboration. I have a great idea to have collaborations between Pariahs and other Seed World projects, where an animal from each project of similar power is pitted against each other. An example that could come to mind would be the hippopotamus from episode 9 of Pariahs fighting the aquatic cows from Apollo. Or how many Rakutagos would it take to kill an adult male Uktan from the Chimere universe? None of these encounters would be canon to any spec project, but would be a fun way for creators to showcase some of their favorite animals in scripted fights to the death. Madly Mesozoic and Keenan Taylor specifically, if you have the time, I'd love to do collaborations with you guys if you end up seeing this video. I would also love for some time in the future to make Wings of Fire content. I love Wings of Fire, and I have some fun ideas for how that could work in a speculative biology context. This will also coincide with my biggest goal for my school year at university. But some ideas I have at the moment are redesigning every dragon tribe. This could give all the dragons their own unique designs and cultures, and would be a fun world-building experience. A good lesson in how to and how not to write captivating fantasy cultures. The main reason I want to do this is that I got inspired by seeing other people do the same, and the release of the Japanese version of Wings of Fire, which came with their own unique designs for the characters, and I feel did a very good job. Anyways, I should be clear on what my biggest goal will be for the 2024-2025 school year. I am going into animation as a career in the future, and I need to build my steps to get there. Not only am I going to show off every model and 3D render I've made in a big mega video at the end of the school year, I have something more specific in mind. I plan on making a fully 3D animated music video featuring an evil AU, or alternate universe, for Peril, with a metal cover of Hellfire as the song. This is a big project and will have many moving parts. Asset creation, developing the animatic, and building my skills in sculpting, modeling, cinematography, simulations, and many others. The goal is to release the completed version on YouTube sometime in late March or early April, with the animatic as a proof of concept coming in late September or early October. I know the last attempts I've made at animatics and full animations was not good, to say the least. But it's been over a year now, and I'd like to think my skills have grown, and I will do my best to improve said skills. Here are some calendars with the approximate dates of my plans for 2024 and early 2025. Feel free to pause and take a closer look if you wish, and if you have any further questions, let me know in the comments and I will do my best to get to them. With the roadmap out of the way, time to ask some Q&A questions. Are you going to do any more time periods for Pariahs? For example, 10 million years into the future, or are you going to stick with 5 million and just end the project when you're done with all the biomes? After Season 1 is over, I will do a short time skip when covering Seasons 2 and 3. This allows for more creative designs, with Lucindo being unfortunately left in the dust. However, Season 2 will likely not come until well into 2025, and the biomes for Season 3 and 4 aren't even done yet, so it's hard to say about when those will be released onto YouTube. Do you plan on covering Parias with a focus on clades of critters instead of by location at any point? I actually really like this idea. Unfortunately, doing it now would cause some spoilers for future seasons, but when this project is further into development, I would love to make a small series of videos covering a highlight reel of Parian clades that have done well on the Forsaken Planet. What is your thought process in deciding which organisms created by the community would/could be considered plausible within the realm of your seed world? The current system consists of around 9 or so voting judges, including myself, on the Parias Discord server. A creature needs 3 verification votes to enter the canon, and an X will deny it from the canon. These 9 judges are the only ones who can vote, so most people on the server cannot vote for their own creations. This system is rather arbitrary, and we tend to be on the liberal side when it comes to accepting people's animals and their designs, but I feel it is a good way to verify people's creature submissions. Do you plan on doing other Spec Evo videos that are not part of your Parias and Serena series? I did mention this in the roadmap, but I plan on more stuff that is non-Parian and non-Serenan. Collaborations, the Bluey project, the Wings of Fire content, and possibly another Owl House video. What's your favorite Parias video you've made so far? Be that drawing, recording audio, or other things you enjoyed along the way. My favorite episode so far has to be the Crimson Desert, episode 4. The Crimson Desert was a really unique environment, and I enjoyed how it looked. The red sands of the desert was a really nice touch and made the environment quite unique. My least favorite has to be the Great Forest, episode 8. Given I feel I was the laziest in that one, with a very few speed paints showing off a lot of the megafaunal herbivores. What Parias animal were you least likely to have made yourself? I feel like the least likely animals I would have made myself is the Plantatluga or the striped barilla from episode 9, with some runner-ups being the gliding spiders from the Great Forest episode. My question is that what would you say are some of the craziest clades on Parias so far in your opinion, like the naked owls, fluffy monitors, etc.? Monitor lizards on Parias have some of the weirdest descendants, like the fluffy monitors, for example, and in many ways they take the cake. I also think that the Cabot lineage is fairly radical, given their arboreal lagomorphs. Do you know we have been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty? Okay, just kidding. If you could add or remove any one species from the seed list, what would you add or get rid of? I actually believe Parias' worst feature is that its seed list is way too long. If I were to go back, I would go and make it extremely small. For example, we don't need multiple bear species if one bear could easily cover the niches of both in a short span of evolution. Personally, I would have limited other exceptions to North American fauna, because that, in some ways, harms the original intent of the project. I would have also paid better attention to the plant roster and included more stuff from North America, instead of the plants being from all over the place. Make it consistent and all that. Also, I think I fumbled when it came to the resurrected species. There's only 3 of them, and I feel like I could have added way more. Like saber-toothed cats, ground sloths, or some other Pleistocene species that went extinct very recently? Do you have W. Riz, and which Parian creature has the most aura? Hard to say if I have W. Riz or not, based on my track record that is up for the jury to decide. I think the Parian creature with the most aura that we've seen so far has to either be the Titan Gualgana or the Lucindan Wandering Sheep, given the latter has the aura to tread on everyone else's domain without a care in the world. Also, when is the Parias Smash or Pass coming out? I'm sorry. I've got a question for you. What kind of animator do you want to become in the future? Perhaps a bit vague of a question, but I want to know in terms of any style or genre you might lean into. Thank you for asking. I want to spec into 3D animation, my inspirations being the How to Train Your Dragon franchise, Frozen, Tangled, Encanto, that kind of style. This style is my favorite, although I also love the stylization of the new TMNT movie, but the experimental stuff is much harder to pull off. I was also very excited when the Wings of Fire show was confirmed to be coming out in 3D before Netflix cancelled it. But now for the Prime Wings of Fire, we know nothing about it. It may be 3D, 2D, or some kind of mix. Unfortunately, we don't know yet. Do you plan on having large marine reptiles in your project at some point? We haven't covered a lot of marine animals in the project so far, but we will in Season 2. And oh boy, you are going to be swamped with large marine reptiles. We hope you enjoy! Will there be a return of Serena? Yep, coming sometime late August or early September, all the way until the end of 2024. Are there any animals you think are underutilized in speculative evolution? I think that non-ape primates are left out of the picture so often in Spec Evo projects. Other candidates are non-dinosaur Mesozoic animals in Fantasy Spec, minus Chimera of course, because Chimera is peak, invertebrates, dogs, Xenarthrans, marsupials, monotremes, salamanders, and urban adapted animals all get left out of the picture pretty quickly in spec projects. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.